Hey YouTubers, Grimmy Dragon here, back with another review, and we're going to be doing something different than the usual robot reviews today, because this time we are going to be taking a look at a 3-pack of Batman figures, more specifically the 1960 version of Batman, who was played by Adam West, of course Robin played by Burt Ward, and Batgirl, played by the late Yvonne Craig. I happened to get a hold of these. I was always a fan of the 60s Batman series, so I figured let's give them a look. Alright, so we're going to start things off with the Bat himself. Batman, as portrayed by Adam West in the 1960s cartoon TV show. It wasn't quite a cartoon, it was live action, but you get the idea. But as you can see, it is a very good likeness to how Adam West looked in the TV series. And right down to the fact that it looks like an actual person in a Batman costume. Which I think was a really good idea on how to go by this. Instead of just making it the superimposed, extra muscular type, really make it look like he came right out of the series. And I do appreciate that. To kind of illustrate this point, let's get the comparisons right out way at the beginning. We got the 1960s Batman, and then we got DC Universe Classics Clayface 2-pack Batman that I happen to have. He does have bits of Clayface on the paint job, but that's neither here nor there. We're reviewing this guy. As you can see, our Adam West Batman isn't quite as muscular or defined as the DC Universe Classics Batman. In fact, he's a little bit smaller too. But that works for me because this one, like I said, looks like an actual person, which is a pretty sweet deal. Because you're not going for this particular line because you want super heroic looking figures. You want them to look like they came out of the show. So why don't we get a look at the head sculpt. Again, a very nice likeness to Batman in that cartoon TV series. I'm sorry, I keep saying cartoon. If you watched it, you probably realize it is kind of cartoony in some ways. But the head sculpt is very nice. Paint job is done very well. Looks like the mask from that series. Sorry if I'm a little shaky here. It's kind of hard to get the camera to stay where I want it. Because it always wants to lean down. There we go. I think. Yes. Yes, there we go. As you can see, there's actually lines that were imposed on the actual cowl, just to make it look a little fiercer. The ears are really short, which was a thing on that particular version of Batman. All in all, it looks really good. The eyes are actually well defined in the mask. We can get the, as you can see, he does have the blue eyes. So, very nice. All in all, really good figure. At least a good head sculpt. Paint job all around is pretty good. The blue has a bit of a metallic tinge to it, which I like. And while it is kind of hard to see, especially in this light, there is an actual bat symbol painted in on the buckle. It's just hard to see because the two colors are very close to each other. Much like that challenge at Cybertron, the Hot Rod. But as you can see, the bat symbol is on the chest very nicely. Looks good, a little bit more old-fashioned than what we're used to, but it works. I mean, that symbol's changed with every iteration of Batman, let's face it. Yeah, tights and legs are good, boots are nice. And then we get to the cape, which is actually a cloth. Rather thin, but works pretty well. I do like it. So why don't we get to articulation. Now you got a ball jointed head. Cape will tend to move with it if you don't hold it in place. So just keep that in mind. But you got up, down, left, right, all around. Real nice free movement. Shoulders are on universal pin and socket. So you got forward, backward, in and out. And since the cape is cloth, it does not hinder the articulation one bit. Bicep swivel. Decent elbow bend, not quite 90 degrees, but it'll work. And you got a wrist swivel. You got the ab crunch, which is pretty common with these Mattel figures. Waist swivel. Forward, backward on the hips, in and out on the hips. Thigh swivel. Bend at the knee again, close to 90. And then you got movement at the ankles, but no ankle pivot. So decent articulation, pretty standard DC Universe Classics articulation on him. And it works pretty well. But I think it's on to the next figure. And that next figure happens to be Robin, as portrayed by Burt Ward. Again, real nice one. This one had a previous release in a 2-pack with Batman, but other than that was unavailable. Batman being available very easily. But yeah, it's nice to actually have another shot at Robin. I'm glad I took it. As you can see, Robin is looking pretty good. Again, looks like a real person instead of someone with that's on steroids. So yay for that. It's a decent, smaller buck than what Batman has, but it's really good. So why don't we get into the face sculpt, which is a big deal. And it does a good job of getting the likeness of Burt Ward at that time. Again, real nice eyes in the mask. Goes on pretty clear. You can see the mask at the back of the head. Although there's a little bit of a paint splotch on the top for mine. I think that was just mine, but other than that, the hair is done nicely. Has a little bit of a wash to it. Oh, I can actually keep it in frame. But it has a wash to it to actually get some highlights in, which works pretty good. Sorry, I'm having trouble with the camera. But yeah, we'll get that correct. We'll get this right going. As you can see, the uniform's done well. Got this nice little group of buckles at the front. Utility belt is done well. A lot thinner than Batman's, but that's fine. You got the sleeves done and the gloves in green. He actually does show tights, so that's pretty cool. And the little booties even has all the details in the back of the ankles. Looks pretty good, much like Batman. He has the cloth cape. And unlike the 2-pack version, it doesn't have a metal wire in it to pose, but if you want to put this in the Batmobile, which I'm sure if you have that thing you want to, I regretfully don't. This is a positive, not a negative. So again, let's get into articulation. So you've got a ball joint at the head, pin in sockets at the shoulders, again unhindered by the cape. Bicep swivel nicely hidden by this sleeve. I appreciate that. Again, not quite 90 at the elbows, but enough. Wrist swivel, ab crunch, not a whole lot, but it's there. Swivel at the waist. Forward, backward at the hips, a little hindered by the bottom of the shirt, but not drastically. Knee bend. Thigh swivel. And ankle articulation. All in all, very nice. I do appreciate it. And I think this is a really good way to go. Regretfully, I do not have any other Robin figures to compare them to. So we're going to have to just move on to what I guess would be the main event. Okay, and that main event is Batgirl herself. Yeah, this is the one that's going to be the hardest to get alone. It was a Comic-Con exclusive, and the only other way to get it is this 3-pack, which since I didn't have Batman or Robin, I went for the 3-pack. And it's a pretty nice figure. Yeah, there is one problem that I guess we should get into right now. The cape is a little too thick to really let gravity do its thing. As you can see, given that it's the like 2 cloth, it's actually got 2 cloths to it. The inside being yellow, the outside being purple. It makes it just thick enough to be in a constantly bellowing look. Which is okay for action poses, but when you have her standing like I got her right now, it kind of looks weird. Unfortunate as that is, the figure itself is still very nice. The head sculpt is done very well, very lovely face sculpt there. A good likeness to Miss Craig. Yeah, the red hair is showing now pretty well, even though in the series that was actually a wig. That's actually smart for a secret identity, having a wig for hair. That will throw a lot of people off. But you can see the eyes are painted in nicely. Lips are done well as well. No lipstick. That's not needed for this. But yeah, the cowl has the nice 2-color look, similar to Batman's, but no lining, which is fine. And they carried the 2-tone to the ears as well, which looks pretty good. And the rest of the body is done nicely. Like, you know, it doesn't go overboard on the bust, but looks good. The bat symbol is painted well, and the utility belt is also well painted. The plastic has a metal flake to it, so she has a good shimmer to her. All in all, she looks really good. Another downer though is that they didn't bother painting the boots, the purple that the gauntlet and cowl are, and they're actually supposed to be painted those colors, so that's a bit of a downer there, but it's not the end of the world. Now, for articulation, she does have left and right movement, universal shoulders. A little tough to move forward, but that's okay. But unhindered by the cape again. You got a bicep swivel, elbow bend about 90 degrees, wrist swivel. She's got a cut right below the bust for waist movement, although there is no ab crunch to her. Sad, but true. You got forward, backward on the hips, in and out slightly. Thighs swivel, knee bend just under 90, and then she has ankle pivot. So articulation is pretty good. Again, yeah, the cape, like I said, very thick. I would have appreciated if there was something to weigh down the sides a bit better, because, you know, it would have been so much nicer if it was weighed down. Still, it is what it is. I'm just glad that I have a Batgirl for this type. But, no, this isn't the first Batgirl figure DC Universe Classics fans have gotten. If I can get her standing again. That's always the trouble with high heels. They never stand perfectly well. But, yeah, we got the 66 movie Batgirl, and then we'll bring in DC Universe Classics Batgirl, who's a bit taller and more the black and blue and yellow color scheme. Again, like I said with Batman, they do accentuate certain details on the regular DC Universe Classics, where they're not quite as accentuated on the 66 versions. But, and they went for rubber capes on that old Classics. But yeah, I mean, I think it's time we gotta look at some of the accessories and do a few more comparisons. So, just one sec. Now for accessories, there's not much. It's just the stands, which are pretty common among the whole Batman 60's version figures. And I guess I was a little bit off. Seems Batgirl's boots are supposed to be yellow, not the lighter purple. My mistake. Of course, as you can see, the stands actually have cards in the back that have artwork of Batman, Robin, and Batgirl. And they even form a little bit of a diorama when you put them next to each other, which is really nice. Flip them around, and you actually got to do this way. Make sure they're all in the right area. But you can actually see a backdrop of Gotham City with the bat signal. Again, diorama style, very nice. Even the dioramas were pretty common with the other Batman figures of this line. Doing a little diorama of the Batcave. Also, on the bottoms, you have the punch effects that you see on the TV series. So, yeah, it's all just like it was back in the day. And have little peg holes so you can just... I could find the right... little pegs so you can put the figures on there and they will stand very firmly. So you have a way to stand them up securely, which is great. I do appreciate that. I've always been happy that the Batman figures have been coming with the stands. But let's get a couple more comparisons in, since I do have a couple other of the Batman figure, like the Batman 66 figures, and well, there's a special DC Universe Classics figure I want to put in for comparison, since I don't have the 66 version. Well, I don't know 66, but the 60s version. But anyway, let's go to Classics TV Penguin, who was played by Burgess Meredith. Yeah. And Julie Newmar, Catwoman. So yeah, we'll get her next to Batman. And yeah, I mean, these figures obviously go great together. They're meant to be. Well, I'm pretty pleased with that. Sadly, I am still lacking a Romero Caesar, or Caesar Romero Joker, but just to fill in the gap, let's bring in DC Universe Classics Mad Love Joker, who's quite tall and towers over Batman for some reason. And we'll also bring in Harley Quinn for why not, you know. She just happens to be there. Heck, let's bring in the comic. We'll bring these guys back in. Yeah, we'll bring in the comic Batgirl and the comic Batman. And yeah. And these 60s figures won't really mix well with the DC Universe Classics. Penguin could work. You know, he's normally shorter, so he could work. I'm sure Catwoman would work fine. But yeah, as far as Batman, Robin, and Batgirl go, they might be a little bit out of place in a regular DC Universe Classics. But if you're a fan of the 60s series and just want to get the figures of that line, he's perfect. You need him. And yeah, I really do like that series, so I'm happy to have a Batman from it. Now I just gotta track down the other figures of the line and try to get a Batmobile. So that's happy hunting for me. You'll find this 3-pack at your local Toys R Us. Get them while they're hot, because they won't last long. But anyway, it's I guess it's time for the final summations. So yeah, that should about cover my feelings on the 1960 Batman 3-pack with Batman, Batgirl, and Robin. I think it's a really good set. If you missed out on Batman and Robin last year, or was it the year before? I can't remember for certain, but if you missed out on the 60s Batman, I'd say get this set at least. You probably can get a couple of the villains too at Toys R Us. They're still available at mine. And, you know, maybe even find the Batmobile sans the Batman and Robin as well. So, but yeah, this set is worthwhile to have. I do recommend it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that review. Tune in next time, but whenever I can. And we will be looking at one of these guys, because I just got a hold of them. Still looking for Sunstreaker, but yeah, we got Prowl, Ironhide, and Mirage. Probably going to do them one at a time, and I haven't decided who's first. But look forward to that, and I will see you next time. So please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, yeah, all the good stuff if you've enjoyed yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, so long, have fun, and bye-bye.